These are the Apex Series Sequential Turn Signal full LED headlights, and they are going to be available for all 2016 through 2018 Camaros equipped with the factory HID headlights. Now, the Apex Series options would be a great way to either freshen up a tired set of factory lights, or maybe a great way to change up the look of your stockers by implementing some aggressive looks paired up with some modern features, all for right around that high $800 price point. Now, moving right into our features block here at the Apex Series, there is a lot to talk about. First and foremost, these headlights will convert your factory HID to a more modern LED, slightly improving both the output and the longevity over time. Now, these lights still retain that lower swooping daytime running light, which I really enjoy, but if you look even closer at this portion up here with kind of these little hash marks, they're three-dimensional, these are actually going to be your sequential LED turn signals, which is a very cool touch and certainly adds a little something extra that the factory headlights are just missing. Now, finally, guys, these lights are going to combine that black housing with a crystal clear lens for an aggressive look and maximum output. Now, moving into our construction block, you'll notice these lights are built very well, and I would say easily on par with the stockers in a lot of different ways. Now, we already mentioned the black ABS plastic housing here. That lens is going to be a crystal clear polycarbonate, and then of course they're sealed up nice and tight to prevent any excess moisture or condensation from building up over time. Now, you will notice that the LED projectors handling both your high and low beam duties here, they're going to be basically in the factory location and right above your swooping daytime running light. Now, again, both the DRLs and the turn signals are given that very cool three-dimensional look here, in addition to giving him that kind of diffused look as well. So it's also going to be a nice high-quality LED appearance, as opposed to maybe some more budget-friendly headlights where you can actually see the individual diodes, and that's not always as quality of an appearance. Now, finally, guys, the lights are DOT and SAE approved. That does make them legal for use in all 50 states. And they are also plug and play, which is nice when you consider that you are swapping from an HID to an LED, along with adding some extra features. Our price point for the Apex Series headlights will land around $900 or so, give or take a bit, which for a full LED replacement is, I would say, pretty reasonable overall, especially when you start comparing these to a factory Chevy HID replacement, which is gonna run you $1,000, if not more, depending on what you end up going with. So again, a really nice replacement option for those of you who might have cracked up a factory set, or maybe you're just looking to change up the look for less than $1,000. These are certainly worth a look. All right, last but not least, what do you say we talk installation? Site's gonna call this plug and play job a solid 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you a couple of hours or so to complete from start to finish, as that front bumper cover will need to come off in order to swap your lights. But now, to give you a better idea of how this one might go down in the garage or driveway at home, what do you say we throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown?
For this install, you need a ratchet, extension, 7 and T15 socket, and a clip removal tool. All right, today we're gonna be installing some headlights on our Camaro. First, we're gonna watch a quick video to uninstall the stock ones, then we'll come back here to install the new ones.
So our first step to removing the bumper is going to be removing all of the 7mm screws holding in our lip. So we can leave these two to kind of hold our lip in place so it doesn't fall and potentially crack on us while we're trying to remove it. So our next step is to remove these 4 T15 torque screws to release our fender from our fender liner. So now that we have our fender liner screws out, we can go ahead and pull back on that and tuck it behind the tire a little bit. And then we're gonna have these 2 7mm screws. They're gonna be the 2 that are closest to the fender side. So we can remove those. The back one's gonna be a little hard to get to. So we're gonna tuck it in there with a 1/4 inch ratchet. And now we can repeat that same process on the other side. So our next step is to remove these 4 7mm screws that are holding our bumper to our fender. And now with that done, we can repeat that same process on the other side. Now we can remove our 6 T15 screws and our 2 pop clips, and then we can remove our bumper. So now we're ready to remove our bumper. So we have these 2 little supports here that we can pop up and over to release those. Now we can release our bumper from our fender on both sides. So now we can remove our bumper and disconnect all of our electrical harnesses. So we have our 1 electrical connector underneath our driver's side headlight, kind of in the fender well area. So now we can remove our 4 7mm screws that are holding in our headlight. Now we can pull back our headlight and disconnect our electrical connectors.
Now before we get our new headlights into our car, we just need to take our turn signal socket out of our factory one. So it's a simple quarter turn. We're gonna take our bulb out, grab our new headlight with our connector. We're gonna plug that in and then just tuck the rest of the harness in and secure it in like normal with a quarter turn. Now if your turn signals are not functioning correctly, you might just need to flip that socket around. Sometimes you just get it mixed up, but that's no big deal, real easy to fix. So now we're gonna get our plugs, our factory connectors plugged in. So we have our turn signal and then our main headlight connector. Secure that on, secure the locking tab. Now we can go ahead and get our headlight into position. We'll get our headlight in place and get our 4 7mm screws reinstalled. We have our 2 up top. Grab our ratchet and 7mm socket, tighten those down. And then our 2 on the bottom, one here. And our 1 on the side. Now you can go ahead and repeat the same thing with the other headlight. We're gonna get ready to get our bumper back on. Just make sure you plug in your main harness, secure down the red locking tab. Then we can go ahead and lift this in place. Just get everything lined up. Now we're going to reinstall all of our screws going across the top and our 2 push clips. Now ours are replaced with our 7mm bolts, but you would have your T15 socket and screws. And we just have 1 push clip on either side. And now we'll move to our wheel liner and get everything else secured. So now in our wheel liner, we're gonna get our 4 7mm screws reinstalled that go across this arch here. Try and get them threaded in. Grab a ratchet, 7mm socket extension, tighten them down. Last one down here. Now we have 2 more of our 7mm bolts on our trim here. Now the one on the inside is definitely hard to see, so you probably won't be able to see that one. Let's get our outside one on. Get our inside one started and tighten down. Now we're going to get our wheel liner back in place, line up all of our bolt holes. Now we are missing our 1 up top there, so we just have our 3 T15 screws. You would have 4. We're just going to grab our ratchet socket, tighten these down. Now you can go ahead and repeat the same thing on the other side of the car. Next we're going to get our lip back on. Now it's going to line up underneath here. Now we are missing a bunch of screws under here, but you would make sure you reinstall all of them. But we're gonna get the ones that we have reinstalled. Grab our ratchet, 7mm socket and extension. Go ahead and get as many as we can handle. And that wraps up our install of our Apex Series Sequential Turn Signal full LED headlights with a black housing and clear lens for our 2016-18 Camaro with factory HID headlights. And remember, for everything Camaro, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.